Hi computer scientists, Mr. Stafford here, and today I wanted to show you Unit 1, Lesson 5, one-way selection statements. So the first level that we're on is a predict level, and it wants us to state what we think the program does. So pause, take a minute, and then make your prediction after you've read the program. So I'm going to trace this code and see if I can't predict what this is going to do. And I see on line 6, okay, I'm inside the main method. On line 6, I've created a new painter. And then we've come across this new structure that's new to us, and it says if. So this is an if statement, and it says if my painter can move south. So that means they're checking to see if the painter can move south. And so when I instantiate my painter object, it's going to be on 0, 0. And I'm seeing that it can move south because there's a barrier to the east. So since I can move south, I'm going to predict that it turns left 3 times and then moves. So I'm just going to say moves to bucket. And then I come across this next if statement and says if painter is on the bucket. So after the first if statement ending on line 13, I am going to be on the bucket. Then what it's going to do is it's going to take paint, it's going to turn left, so I'll be facing east at that point. It's going to move to this point, which is at 1, 1, and then it's going to paint that square at 1, 1 white. So paints, so I'm just going to say takes paint and paints location 1, 1 white. Okay. And then it asks if painter is on paint, and so I'm remembering that I just painted this white, this square white at 1, 1, and since I will be on paint at that point, I'm going to move, so I'll be at 2, 1, so moves to 2, 1, and then if painter can move, which it will be able to, I can move forward again, so moves again, 2, 3, 1. And then if painter can move north, so I'll be here. This is a barrier. I can't move north, so I'm going to ignore those statements from line 31 and 32. So I'm going to go ahead and run, see if my prediction is correct. And I did end at 3, 1. Okay, go ahead and click finish. So it says debug the program. This program is supposed to check if the painter object can move forward in the direction it is facing, but it has an error. So what we need to do is find and fix the error in this program. All right. So this is the GIF that's supposed to be showing me what I should be able to do. I want to run it just to see what the error says. It says the direction provided is not recognized. So supported directions are north, south, east, and west. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this program, creating a painter. If painter can move, I'm asking my painter to move, and then if painter dot can move forward. So forward is not a recognizable direction. So what I want to do is, since I'm facing east, I'm going to change forward to be east. Go ahead and run this again. And I'm seeing that I'm confronted with this cone, and I can't move east, so then my painter will not attempt to move, and I won't run into this cone. Let's just see what it's going to look like if I comment out this if statement. And if I want to comment out the if statement, I have to comment out the initial line and the last curly brace of it. So let's run it and see what would happen if I didn't have that and I just asked it to move. And it says painter tried to move off the grid or onto an obstacle, which we were trying to avoid moving onto an obstacle with this if statement. So again, I'm going to uncomment that if statement, and there's no issues there. On to level 3. This is a choice level. I'm going to do choice A. Feel free to program along with me, but then I want you to try a different choice afterwards. So starting off, it says in my neighborhood, which I'm in here. It says use an if statement and the is on bucket method to take all the paint from the paint bucket if the painter object is standing on the paint bucket. Okay, so let's read what we have so far. I'm instantiating a painter object. I'm asking my painter to move, so I will be on the bucket. And then it says to do right here. Use an if statement and the is on bucket. It's basically a repeat of the instructions here. So I'm going to say if my painter dot is on bucket using proper camel case, open and close parentheses, because it is a method after the is on bucket. What I want to ask my painter to do, my painter dot take paint, and I want to do that once, take paint twice, and I should take all the paint. And I'm going to run it, see if I have any errors. And it looks like I've taken all the paint from that bucket. Okay, go ahead and finish. And that's us being introduced to our one-way selection statements or our if statements. Please do another choice level and finish up your check for understanding. And that's it for Unit 1, Lesson 5, one-way selection statements.